Hi, this is Carrie with Co.lective, and you can find us at lective.co. And today we're going to do a slightly longer video. It's going to be about the top 5 most important things to consider when contacting a retail buyer. And these come from my experience of being a fashion sales rep for the last 6 years and contacting buyers big and small nationwide. So the first thing that is the most important, it's very obvious, but it goes unresearched so often of the time, is you need to be speaking to the right buyer. That means the stores with the same lifestyle and same customer demographic as your brand. When you walk into a store, you need to look at that store with an objective eye and think, does my brand really fit in this store? Would it talk to the same customers? It's very often to be biased when it's your brand and you're selling it and you'll talk to just any store. But the importance of talking to the right store is going to save you a lot of time and efforts and money in traveling around and meeting with these stores in the long run. So that's number 1, lifestyle and demographic. Number 2, equally as important, pricing. Your price point should be fit within the store's range of price points. You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. You want to try to be somewhere in the middle of the price range that they carry. And this is important because if you're too high, their customers just might not be able to afford your brand. If you're too low, then your products will make their existing products seem too expensive, and that doesn't do them any good either. So it's really beneficial to look for stores whose price range is where you fit kind of right in the middle of that. That's where you're going to have the most success of finding people who will contact you back and want to set up appointments with you. So then number 3 would be show, don't tell. And this is in regards to your email communication when you're sending your line and your lookbooks out to buyers for the first few times. Nobody is going to read 5 paragraphs of your history and who you are and who you think your line is and who you think you sell to. They're not going to read that. They're not even going to read 2 paragraphs. The best way you can get them interested in your line is to have compelling photography included in the email and then links to go find more information. So not only do you have to have your line sheet and your sample collection ready, but you have to have your lookbooks ready, and you have to have a really good website ready to go to send people to get more information. You don't want to include attachments in emails because those will often get caught up in junk mail and spam folders. Oftentimes, email boxes get really full really quickly, and your email may never have even made it to the buyer because you sent an attachment. It'll get caught up in junk mail. You want to include links to more information, links to your website, and links for them to go read about your designer history and your experience and who this collection is marketed to. It's a really good idea to use email marketing services that you can include photos in the body of the email. And you can use services like Vertical Response, Constant Contact, MailChimp. There's a number of these services where you can create really nice, good-looking newsletters that have photography and less wording. And that is what's going to get them to save your email and go think, gee, that's cool. Let me look at that later when I have budget available, when I'm buying that category again. Show, don't tell. So number 4, I think, is persistence. So often, a really big mistake that new fashion brands will make is they'll contact an email or they'll contact a buyer 1 time, 3 times, and they won't get any response. And they'll think, well, that buyer's just not interested in me. Let me just move on. They're not interested. Well, that's a mistake. Buyers are busy. Buyers get contacted by hundreds of fashion brands every single week, every single day, and they simply cannot look at all of them. Maybe you've contacted them, they like it, they don't have the budget right now, they're not buying right now, maybe they're not buying for a couple months, but they've saved your email and they're going to get back to you when it's right for them. So just because they haven't responded doesn't mean they're not interested. So also, it can take 7 to 10 times of calling and emailing this buyer just to even get in contact with the buyer, and the buyer to be like, Yes, I did get your emails, and yes, I did like it, and I'd like to speak with you later, but I'm really not looking for that right now. So buyers will thank you for your persistence if you're speaking to the right buyer, the right lifestyle, the right demographic, the right price point. If you're not speaking to the right buyer and you're persistent, they're going to get annoyed, and you're going to be that crazy stalker person who won't leave them alone. So there's a fine line. You need to walk the fine line and be persistent, but make sure you're contacting the right buyers. And eventually you'll get them on the phone, and they'll acknowledge that you've sent them all this information, and they'll thank you for that. So that was number 4. Number 5 is, this is hugely important, and this is a huge mistake, and it's a very big pet peeve of many buyers. Number 5 is ask, don't tell. Ask questions. This is a huge pet peeve of buyers, saying, my line's going to be perfect for your store. Your customer's going to love my line. This line is going to be the best seller for you, and you're just going to do great with this line. Well, guess what? You don't know that buyer's business. You don't know if they're neck deep in dresses and they don't want to see another dress until next year, and you're trying to sell them dresses that are going to be the best seller. They're not going to respond to you. It's very, very, very important to ask questions. Learn their needs. What are they looking for? What are their best-selling price points? Maybe they have a store that's full of dressy attire, and their shopper, they're finding, is a woman who just really wants casual wear. And so they sell a lot of casual pants, casual tops, and then they're looking for more of that, and they really just kind of want to get rid of this dressy attire. And you think they love dressy attire because that's what they have in their store, but honestly, they're trying to get rid of it. Maybe they have a store full of sweaters that they overbought, and you have a sweater line and think your sweater line is going to be perfect for them, and they just can't even look at another sweater until 2 seasons from now. You need to ask questions. Never assume your line is perfect. Never assume it's the best line. Never assume it's going to be the best seller. What are they looking for right now? And you don't even have to ask the buyer these questions so often. Take advantage of your sales calls. If you call and, hi, is the buyer in? No, she's not in right now. Can I take a message? Well, actually, maybe you can help me out. I'm hoping that we can get in touch with your buyer, and I want to make sure I have the right price point. In the meantime, what would be your best-selling price points for your dresses? Oh, yeah, we do really, really great with dresses under $150. Things that are kind of above that just tend to really sit there. But if you have $150 and under, we'd probably take a look at it. Okay, that's really great. And, you know, who's your customer? Well, our customer, she's a corporate woman, she's a stay-at-home mom, she's a tourist, she's a local, you know, etc. Ask questions. You'll get incredibly insightful information by doing your research and finding out, and focus on needs-based selling. Needs-based selling is what is going to work in this marketplace. Selling like, my brand's perfect, you're going to love it, that doesn't work anymore. Needs-based selling. Find out what they need. Perhaps you've asked questions and they don't want dresses, but they actually need pants right now. And because you ask questions, you can get an appointment to sell them your 5 pieces of really great pants that you never thought to think of. Find out what their needs are, ask questions. So to recap, number 1 is lifestyle and demographic. You have to be speaking to the right store. Number 2, equally as important, price point. Find that middle ground. Don't be too high, don't be too low. Number 3, show, don't tell. Compelling photography. Let them go seek more information. They will find out more about you. Have really great photography in your emails. Number 4, persistence. They're busy. They'll get to you when they're ready. And number 5, ask, don't tell. Never assume your line is perfect. Ask them what they need. Ask them what they're looking for. Ask them when they're buying next. And then you will start to feel, I'm doing a good job. I'm getting appointments. People are responding. I know what my best sellers are. And you'll grow your brand. So more to come. Check us out at Co.lective or at lective.co. We have a really cool industry buzz page that you can check out. Modules you can download. I do individual designer consultations. You can contact me, Carrie, at brands@lective.co. And good luck with your season.